The month of February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. This year as youth reps, we wanted to expose unhealthy relationship norms that we see portrayed in the media and thus in our everyday lives. We wanted you, our peers, to identify some red flags commonly seen and normalized in relationships.
Nice. What is a red flag that you think is normalized or romanticized in relationships?
I think being overprotective or like even to the point of like jealousy, and it can get like really controlling, and I think that's romanticized.
Why do you think that's not okay?
Because I think that, you know, even if you are in a relationship, you should be free to make your own choices. You know, you're committed to somebody, but that doesn't mean that they should be able to control everything that you do, and that can turn into like an abusive relationship really quickly.
I think like talking to your significant other like all the time is like something that like in society like we almost expect, but I think that it's like not something that's healthy at all. Like Nate Jacobs in Euphoria, like always being like, I need to know where you are, like, you know, like if you hook up with someone else, like when we're not together, like that's like, you know, like he gets all pissed off at her and stuff, and so like that's not healthy.
I feel like one red flag is people like controlling who you're friends with or who you talk to when you're in a relationship, and it's just like, I don't know, very controlling thing.
Feeling bad when you say no and not feeling or wanting to do anything but still doing it because you don't want to feel guilty.
I think fighting, like not like yelling and blaming each other, and also like hitting on other people, kind of like being interested and flirting with other people.
Probably like crazy protective, like if the other person is like crazy protective and they like don't let you talk to other people or like leave the house or just even like look at another person because they think it's like cheating.
I think a red flag that is normalized is unreal expectations of the other person, because I feel like often when people first get into a relationship, they expect a lot out of the other person, and oftentimes you like don't even know the person that well yet, and it can lead to a lot of problems down the line, and it's often just fake and lust.
Where do you see this most often, like in relationships at school or in the media?
I would say a lot in the media, because you see people post all these relationships on social media that look really perfect and like they're really happy, but oftentimes that's not true, and they just paint the picture like they're really happy, but that's not the case.
I think something I see a lot is when people get in fights and they don't talk about it afterwards, they just kind of ignore it and move on like it never happened instead of talking about it.
And do you see that with your friends and in school more, or like on the media?
I'd say both, you know, and even in my like familial relationships, like in any type of relationship, communication's important, because if you just kind of like ignore the problem at hand and don't talk about it, then it can spiral and get worse and really blow up in your face.
That's not okay. In doing this, we hope to shift the narrative away from unhealthy behaviors, thus changing the norms and societal expectations for relationships.
And what would you rather see instead?
I think that people who are together should be understanding of each other and just open with each other, not necessarily, you know, let them do whatever they want, but like you shouldn't be making your partner's choices for them.
Just like even if you're with someone, like consent every single time you do stuff with them or anything.
I would say like a realistic building of a relationship, so like you'd build a friendship relationship, you start by getting to know the other person, maybe not jumping into things too quickly, and then eventually you can work up to that point where you guys are really happy and like those posts are genuine and not just fake for social media and for people to be jealous of you and things like that.
Healthy communication, talk about your problems, like work it out. You can compromise, and if it's not working, you can figure it out.
Healthy fighting, like fighting is healthy, but you need to communicate, and also like not yelling and blaming and gaslighting.
I mean, I think we need to like accept that like our significant others like should have space, you know, and that like everyone like needs a break at some point, you know, like you can still be together and not talk, and I think that's something that we don't acknowledge in society.
What would you rather see in relationships?